We're back here again with yet another episode in this special series where we're talking about comprehensive sexuality education. And I'm here with my defenders and my issues. My name is Dennis Imaan, and I'm back. So if you have watched the previous two episodes, you probably have already seen the faces that I'm with now, because one guest was here in the first episode and the other one was here in the second. Now we brought them back so that we can now explore more of the issues in those two episodes. So if you are just tuning in and this is your first episode, make sure you go back and watch episode 1 and 2 for you to get a background of this conversation. And uringini imene tikukambirana lero tikhale tonse tili mtika bobo. For those that did not watch the first episode, Clara Campeni, a little bit of who you are, just very briefly.
All right, my name is Clara Campeni. I am a comprehensive sexuality education defender. I am also a regional programs coordinator at Makazi Foundation. I am passionate about community development, bringing change to our community, bringing something to our community. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
about me.
Perfect. And Martin Yatina,
Mhm.
a little bit about you in
So-
brief.
So for me, as he has already said, I'm Martin Yatina, a CSE Defender, Comprehensive Sexuality Education Defender, currently working with the Center for Youth Empowerment and Civic Education. For more information about me, go to the first episode. You'll find more details about me.
All right. So that's a reason to actually watch the first episode to understand what we're talking about. So today we're here sitting down to discuss consent and healthy relationships. Previously, Tagamba Zokuza, the broader topic here, comprehensive sexuality education and all that, and palizambiri zimene tinayamba kumakazikambirana mkatikatimo. But today we decided kuti we focus on consent and healthy relationships. We're going to start with what defines or what encompasses a healthy relationship. Who wants to go first? I don't want to dictate today. Healthy relationships. Ndijani, already healthy relationships. Ndijani. My relationships have been go joke.
Ladies first.
Ladies
Should
first.
take it.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I feel like what defines a healthy relationship is usually something that two people come to common ground, because when we talk of healthy relationship, we know we're both coming from different backgrounds, we have different perspectives, beliefs, etc. But it's about two people coming together, respecting each other, having a good communication, and trust, honesty, loyalty. That's what creates a healthy relationship.
Okay. According to you, Martin.
Yeah, Zambiri in this many one in Akale Clara. So I would dwell much on the communication part. You know, Masiwa Noah, the way our brains are programmed, when there is a communication gap, we always feel that gap in my negative thoughts. For instance, I'm dating someone, Munzura said, Tumane, 2 o'clock. Now I'm offline. I didn't give an update. By nature, that person I'm feeling that gap in my negative thoughts. So by having good communication in the relationship, it's actually a very crucial thing to maintain that relationship.
Okay. So if we were to come up with, let's say, 2, 3, or 4 fundamentals a healthy relationship, what could those things be? If we were to list them, would my fundamentals, okay, I'm in a healthy relationship, is it tiki easy, what could those be?
Yeah, okay. So I think the first one should be good communication. Not the first one per se, but one of them should be good communication. Well, by communication, that's the genesis of the relationship. We're communicating. kamunanama kamunarani koma that was communication. They make sure kuti whatever you are doing there's supposed to be communication. Don't engage in my relationship what there is always supposed to be my question mark. Kudali kuti, kuda kutani. Always keep the other person updated as much as possible.
Okay. So communication.
Honesty.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe it's good to be honest with your partner, because your partner is the one who's supposed to make you feel at home, right? Someone who's your safe space. So honesty plays a very big role. You're able to discuss things that you can't discuss with other people to your partner. You're able to be honest with them about particular things. And it helps avoid like small petty lies, because with those small petty lies, umampasa muntu mentality yokuti ngata ndinamiza chinthu ichichi, what more zinthu zazikulu, yeah? So honesty has a very big part to play.
Okay. Anything else?
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like mukamapasana ulemu pa relationship paja zinthu zimayenda. Kusiyana nzokuti uzindipangira mwano, at the end ineso ndikupangira mwano, because it's like a tit for tat type of thing. Yeah. So it's good to respect each other. I respect you, you respect me, because, well, again, we're all coming from different backgrounds with different beliefs and perspective towards different things.
Right. Anything else?
I think many Clara we have to understand within the Fantosiana. We are just coming in. Everyone has a background in terms of religion, in terms of the culture. They know we are supposed to leave our egos aside as well. You know, for tit for that. And I'm supposed to do this.
Do the same.
Now,
Retaliate.
now communication nature. So by just keep your partner updated, give information. There's this, what can we do? You know, the smallest things or the smallest questions may no matter of say as when you are making a decision, so wampanga engagement winner. That's a very strong boundaries, minimum how you are building. So communication, guys.
How much does trust play in a healthy relationship?
It plays a very big part, because I feel like without trust, there's nothing. There's no relationship. You should be able to trust your partner, but also trust is something that is built. Yeah, you just don't earn it. So I feel like through trust, there's honesty, there's communication. If you're communicating with we know if you're honest, that's when you start to build the trust. Yeah. Kuti suma mukaikira so partner olada kuza uda babe, today I'm offline. Sungakhala sondimaganiza ukuthi because you've built that trust.
Yeah. And I think in addition to the trust thing, I heard somewhere then now the building trust zilingalira anthu mabwera pamodzi ndiyomwe you have planted a seed. Ndeka mtengo kaja kambokula kaphukira chanchani. So that's a relationship. You have built that trust. Now maudulano mtengoja or mauzulapo. Now for the trust to come back in, that means we are supposed to start from square one. Mufunika kuti muyambe so kukadzalaso another seed. So let's maintain the trust. Yes.
Okay. And as far as you are maintaining the trust, you are trying your side to communicate and all that. How do you know something is off? What are the signs of an unhealthy relationship that somebody can just notice? I think this is with a bubble.
Yeah, okay. Ndali kwambiri. Toti tima trigger signs. Toti for instance there uri muntu oti communication ichano acho. Ungodabwa ungona pa status ka friend akwakuuza kuti alitu kusalima, alitu kuma enjoyment anapita kuti ndeti makhali ma trigger signs so that I don't think now we were on the same page. Kuma right now I think we are doing things different now. Ndeti makhala zijazoti chintu choti we're supposed to hear from that person, you are hearing it from other people. So it's something oti makhala trigger sign kota. Are we still in this together? Or maybe you have boarded into another ship now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to agree what he said. But I think communication really does build the whole foundation on its own. Kuti akangosira to panga communicate mpamene umayamba kuzimva zokuti imakhanga ukuthi the behavior pattern has changed. Yeah, because pali zinto zinoma banga notice kuti muntu uyu samavanga isizi. Yeah.
Okay. And apart from communication and lack of it,
Yeah.
as my trigger signs that you have mentioned, mkatikati potsopano, what are things that you can notice? Okay, he communicates, but when you're together and whatnot, what are some of the things? Because sometimes when in a relationship, we are used to we interact physically. Ndikwena ndipange trust. Ndikwena ndikhale honest to what he says or what she says. But also, you also must endure them sometimes because we're coming from different backgrounds. Where does this enduring in a relationship end? And what's not supposed to happen for it to actually keep being a healthy relationship?
I think ndeuti ma trigger signs ena ndeuti akozokhala ma behavior changes apart from the communication. Ikozokhala the same communication, command now is coming in a negative way or maybe in an offensive way. Jazori muntu kumfusa a very simple question, a basic question. Command now the way that person is responding. Udaba kuti nkhani yake omwe kodi fuso lake lomweli. Now you see kuti I think muna mwake palena ake kuti muna she's treating her better or he's treating him better or whatnot. So imakhala, so the communication can be there, but now how the communication is being driven to the other person. Yeah.
So, what are some of the signs that you notice this is an unhealthy relationship? We've talked about communication issues and whatnot, but you're in there. Communication, but what are some of the other things that a person can observe when they're in there?
I feel like this goes to the signs of abuse in a way. Like insults, good stupid, like those small little words or bringings into zokuti zako family one would hey stuff like that. So those are, of course, they look like small things, just like words. Yeah, Komano, that's also a sign of an unhealthy relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think an extension to what she has said, kwa kanya abuse yomwe. We also have the cyber bullying. I remember there is a case yoti nachitika in 2023. Zomwezi zoti zomatumizirana manodzi zomwezi. So there was a girl oti ankakondotumizira manodzi the boyfriend, and it became a culture in the relationship. Zota nsabobo chanchani. So the guy amangosunga anozitwezijo, mangozisunga chanchani. Up until a point yoti the guy ended up finding zoti the girl was cheating. Now the guy, out of anger, anangopanga forward all the pictures of the girl. So it became very frustrating. Now we see the issues of mental health. Or how is the family now going to be perceived in the society? So it brings my issues of mental health. Are you still going to be accepted by the society? We are also supposed to prevent, as much as we are in the relationship, Komaso, we are supposed to set my limits. As much as I love this person, Komano, I think I can cross.
Okay. On the issue that you have just mentioned on people sending each other notes and whatnot. Okay, we know in a relationship you share each other's privacy. You're together and whatnot. Yeah. So when it comes to these issues now of creating records of these moments, how should partners handle these things? If people are comfortable or are not comfortable with keeping or creating these memories, could that be also seen as a sign kuti mwina akakamiza anzake kuti atumize manudes and whatnot? Because I don't think people have no idea kuti nthawi inayake zinthu zitasokonekera, this will come out and will embarrass them. Do ladies give out these things freely to their men to keep them? From your experience, not putting but in your circles as ladies, when you discuss these things.
I feel like it's a form of intimacy. Yeah. I mean, I'm not with it, Koti. You should be sending nudes and whatnot. But then I think it's a form of intimacy for them. Yeah. But it's something that you have to also know your partner. Yeah. Kuti amabanga react modani on certain things. I would say for me it's just a no on the nudes part, because these are sensitive things. Anything can happen in a relationship. You guys can argue, you can fall apart and whatnot. So I don't think these are things that you need to keep in your phones and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you guys to actually appear on this podcast, you have to sign forms for us to use your pictures, your images
Yes.
on the podcast. Do you think relationships should even go there where if you are taking pictures for each other, everybody signs and give consent on the usage of things like those?
Not really, because at the end of the day, I think with the policy that came in that if you send out somebody's pictures without their consent, you're even going to get arrested and whatnot. So I feel like with that policy also being there, it's basically like the contract also, that if I'm going to disclose these things, I'm also going to be in trouble at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Kanyama policy omweyo just an extension. I think at the moment Magra has also introduced my policies concerning cyberbullying. So if you are linked to my cases as cyberbullying, for instance, you contributed to a nude going viral and the like, actually you are going to be arrested for 2 years imprisonment, and you are going to be fined up to 5 million, 5 million around there. So it's a very serious thing. Komaso, as Clara said, I'm against the whole sending nudes and the like thing. Because at the end of the day, what are you trying to achieve? That should be the goal in mind. After I've sent this, what will be the end goal? And this so we're supposed to learn from what other people are going through. Tuguma zona ma social media. The end game, they will trend, the whatnot. And the chances of the guy or the girl giving these things just to themselves are a bit low to them exposing it. So we also have to do a comparative analysis. What would be the end product of this? Yes.
Right.
And it's usually a one-way thing, because I don't think I've ever seen men sending nudes.
I know they have. We have
Trending.
We've seen some.
Wow.
Yeah, and they've trended.
I've never seen. But okay, statistically, majority
the thing is, people I
women.
think enjoy sharing when it's ladies nudes. I don't know. I think ladies are attractive people would look, because when you're looking, I don't know if girls sit there and look at a man's nudes and they're like, but for guys,
Maybe
they're
she can
looking
give
at something that's attractive.
Maybe you can give the proper response.
Ladies are attractive, basically.
You go
So
like,
people find joy in looking at something that's attractive. For men, I don't think there's any attraction in that. It's gross. Like, oh wait a minute, what's that? Like, dude, let's not really digress into that. But looking at a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship, younger defenders, people that understand sexuality and whatnot, you should be able to advise a young person who is in a relationship to actually say, yeah, you are having this intimate relationship with you, but ukabona easy. These are red flags, right? I want us to focus on those red flags. And then we have this conversation where if a young person is listening to us now, is watching us, should be able to make a decision. We want a relationship and we so let's dive into those things. Because Palima issues, as men, mainly mabachare, we invite our ladies come through and whatnot. And the fact that the lady has come into our space, we feel like we can do anything with them. What are the rights? What are the limits? What can the other partner, the other half, do to make sure that they agree with whatever is going on?
I feel like one of the signs also could be, like I said, abuse, like beating your partner, right?
Mhm.
And it's very unfortunate that love is something that is very, very powerful. You cannot advise someone who is in love, just come here. And the thing is, of course, they obviously come back and apologize. And you just say, okay, maybe the problem was me. Maybe I did something wrong, and you accept it. But this is something that becomes a behavior, and it's something that you end up getting used to the point that now it mentally affects the way that you work. It mentally affects your physical appearance, your body, and etc. So that form of abuse alone is not right. It's something that you would tell your friend, couldn't no.
What constitutes abuse in a relationship where people are romantically enjoying their companionship, their each other's company? What could be the thing that you would say that's abuse? Because these people, wherever to know that they're in a
The
relationship,
relationship.
that means I'm going to someone that loves me, and everything that they do, maybe it's love. How would somebody understand? No, it's love, or it's form of abuse.
Someone who loves you would never hurt you. That's what I believe, right? They would never even try to lay a hand on you because they see you as someone who's fragile to begin with. So someone who loves you would never hurt you, would be my advice.
But some say that you correct people
No.
by beating
But
them. That's how
beating-
they've been raised.
Yeah,
They've been taught.
that's now that comes to trauma on how your childhood has been, right? Kuti mina amakumenya iweyo, or mina umaona makolo ako akumenyana, and it's something that you grow up seeing and you think that it's right, but unfortunately it really isn't. Yeah, so I think that's a trauma issue where child development comes to play. Good, it's an important thing because now maana maona zomwe makula mabanga, right? So it's something that we also need to look at the parents and also try to give them the help and support when it comes to GBV. Good, if they're experiencing GBV, the places that they can go to, the places that they can report to, so that kuti mwana samakule mu environment yodero, because they end up adapting to that and they see it as normal. Because I've had a couple of conversations with men that tell you kuti, oh, muzimmenya muzimpanga muzimmenya kuti apeze pophunziro and that's how you learn. But even if utammenya mwana uja, they're still going to, like, they're going to end up carrying that habit with them.
Okay. According to men, we believe that we're the head. We're the head. It comes from different teachings and all that, and we are the key decision makers in a relationship. And where issues to do with sex in a relationship, we feel like we own the power to give it to our partners and whatnot whenever we need it and all that. According to you, where are the limits of we can have sex anytime because we're in a relationship to now this is being abused because I'm in the relationship?
Okay. I think for owning sex, every scenario body balance really there are supposed to be rules. And that's the nature of things. Body balance really there are supposed to be rules. Now, more especially now you are bringing in a man and a woman. So the activity which they are going to be engaging in, they are all going to be participating. So now that brings back the issue of consent. Chifasudi, you'll be doing it alone. You are going to be doing it with another person. So the satisfaction which you are going to receive is as much going to be the satisfaction of that person. The pain which you are going to be receiving, the other person is also going to be receiving. And then you cannot impose, since I'm the head or I'm the decision maker, I'm supposed to be doing this by force or by persuasion or the like. If it was you doing it alone, then you'll be owning the thing. Komano, now it brings the issue of consent. You have to, I don't know if you have to ask or you have to give out a sign or you have to do something to let the other person know what you are about to engage in this thing. And it has to be clear, no ambiguity, no whatsoever attached to it. Kamufusa direct kuti nthawi chakwa kayanchani. And if that person is not willing, don't force it.
Okay.
Don't force it.
You have mentioned consent several times.
Mm.
Can we clearly let people that are asking what consent in the journey? Because I mentioned consent because as a media practitioner, I know I need to ask people before I publish their images,
Yeah.
whether it's visual or still images, whether it's moving or still images.
Mm.
In this case, when you say consent in a relationship, what are we talking about?
Okay, so in a relationship, consent, it's freely agreeing to do something. Number one, without pressure, without persuasion, or without any external forces attached to it. You are agreeing to that thing freely. And you also have to realize that the thing which you have agreed, you can withdraw it at any time. So this is the free agreement to something without any external forces attached to it. Many munafolowozera as a sex emoji. You can agree with that. Maybe we'll link up at 2. You have accepted, let's say at around 10 in the morning. You will link up around 2. You have accepted. You have given out the consent. Komano, during the time, maybe at around 4, wasn't amaganizo. You can withdraw the consent which you gave out. Kuda ase ndasinta amaganizo. Sindibweraso kayano, I'm engaged in this other activity. And you have to also accept that as much as it is going to hurt or bring other factors around it, you have to accept. When I would say this is not a one-way thing, this is a two-way thing. Yeah.
Okay. That is perspective. Men usually will say, say chikije nabwera pa 10. Lero imaoneka kuti upanga kazi zake zoboeka, but at the end of the day, zinatheka. But when you go into this conversation, you realize that the other person was silent. Is silent consent?
No, it's not consent.
If somebody says, let's do this, and you don't give an answer, haven't you given them the right to proceed?
No, you haven't given them the right to proceed because you've been silent. Silence is usually, it comes with doubt, right? Because you're thinking about whatever it is that you want to do with the person, right? Do I really want to do it? No, I don't. So I think majority of the times it's more of I don't want to do it, but I don't want to say that I don't want to do it because it comes out as if you're with someone else or you've been with another partner. So you don't want to make your partner feel like you're out with someone else. Yeah.
Okay. From our previous conversations, one thing that we talked about one bit is the rising cases are child marriages.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we define a child as every person under the legal age of giving consent, right? Where is this issue and what do we need to do? Because I think most of the abuse that's happening, which includes teenage pregnancies and forced child marriages, literally dwell on consent because these people cannot give consent according to their age. What should be done to make sure that people understand that below this age, it doesn't matter uri muntu akuoneka wankulu bwanji kaya amatani, they cannot give consent because there's also legal age where one can give consent. Let's discuss this thing in a way that somebody who's watching would understand. Because if you go to a 16-year-old and you tell them, you ask them to say, I want to marry you, and they say yes, they have said yes. Is that consent?
You have proposed to a 16-year-old.
16-year-old.
Wow, they have accepted. Now we also have to look into the locations. To find according to the statistics in 2024, it showcased 42% of the marriages which happen in rural areas are below the ages of 18. And these things are actually happening. Kumano, now when we look at the location, kulima structures meneko, kulima mafumu, kulima organization, kulima health centers and the like. So those people, number one, knowledge is power. Ngati nyamata ngati neyo, I'm knowledgeable. I know the rights of other people. I know my rights. As much as we want to respect other people's rights, let's also control ourselves. You can't go to a 16-year-old and propose when you know the rights of that particular person.
Maybe they don't know. They just look at them and they say, ndakupeza kantsikana atikana kalemba mweso wa form 4 kwa hiyo muntu oti wafika form 4 kumudzi ndi munthu wankulu amene, and they propose to this person and this person has said yes.
No, it's not consent. It's the same thing ngati mina mapangira kuchipatala kuti if let's say for example if a woman is mentally disturbed in the head, they don't have they're not in the right stage to make a decision. A guardian should be able to make the decision
On their behalf.
on their behalf, whether to go for the surgery, whether not to go. So I feel like it's the same with underage girls. They need a guardian to be there to consent for them as long as they're under the age of 18 years old. Yeah.
Okay. So it must be agreed that anyone who is below the age cannot give consent. Even when they say no, that does not mean they have consented to whatever they are doing. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Now, you mentioned about how all these things now turn out and come out into people's mental health and all that. Now, let's dive into that. How does an unhealthy relationship turn out to be a mental health issue? What are the situations or what are the causes? This was a relationship. How does it start? And at the end of the day, we need to find out really how can we assist someone so it doesn't get there.
Okay. So the issue about mental health is very broad. And there are a lot of factors mapanga encompass to mental health. And according to the police report, many Abangida released this year, 95 people have died due to relationship issues and cyberbullying. 95 people. So it's a very serious issue. So for mental health, there are a lot of factors. She talked about abuse. And abuse here, it's not only physical abuse. We have a lot of types of abuse. We have the verbal abuse, we have the emotional abuse, we have the physical abuse, and other factors of abuse. Muntu ukozomakana bobo, so rumenya, kaya you are not insulting her. Komano, every time you interact, umani na kwao, kaya kumani nila makolo wage and the like. So that's more of a mental abuse, and plus emotional, verbal abuse as well. Ndezi into zijazima kauri, they are just engulfing into that person's plane. as much as muntu just wasakhale kuti mwina sakuyambulisana ndi anthu ena and the like ndezimangokhala kuti they are engulfing. At the end of the day zikadzapanga explode, now we are talking about the suicidal ideations kuti bola ndingodzipha, bola ndingomwa chakuti, kapena engaging in some bad behaviors kuti mwina pamene ndafika inepa bola kuti ndidzingosangalala. You know, there are a lot of factors mezimapanga contribute to my mental health issues. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to add on to what he's saying. The mental health, could he, you know, the different forms, yeah, economic, mental. I mean, physical. There's emotional. So even with emotional, right? Muntu, you start to develop low self-esteem. You start to look down on yourself. You start to self-isolate from people because you want to make it seem like you're in a happy, perfect relationship, but deep down, things are not working out. There are people who have even quit their jobs or even lost their jobs because they don't even feel like going to work because the whole relationship is falling apart. So it affects the other partner negatively because the other partner is not even being affected. Yeah. So mental health has a very big role to play when it comes to unhealthy relationships because now we're seeing a lot of suicide cases or self-harm. And these are things that people don't even talk about. You just look at someone's arm and as they you ask them why, my man or my girlfriend, something like that, which is not healthy.
Okay. According to my study, I discovered that there's a huge correlation between mental health or people that are suffering from mental disorder. Not just psychological, but anyone that has gone through some kind of trauma, whether it's like anxiety, they always have anxiety, they are depressed, they make decisions based on those, not on their right state of mind. That increases their level of engaging in sexual activities. Most of the times they try to find solace in those things, or they might not be directly looking to go and engage in sexual activities, but they would be using probably drugs or drinking more, where they become vulnerable to being abused now sexually. How do you guys now, as people that understand sexuality, link what is happening here so we are able to save more people from this trauma and whatnot, and then being able to protect or prevent them from whether catching viruses, teenage pregnancies, because whatever is happening here is ending up into teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
What are you advocating? What are the things that you think should start happening?
Yeah, okay. Note number one is what we explained in the previous episode. We want to work in collaboration with the different stakeholders because we understand and how many they are belonging in different societies. For the rural areas, we have different groupings. We have the traditional leaders, we have the religious leaders. So we want to work with these stakeholders as a way of imposing the right information to these people. Because once these people have been informed and have been given the right and relevant information, they'll be able to protect themselves. My relationship, kumapanga engaging, as much as I'm in this relationship, komano, my rights are these ones. Ndikafika apa, I'm not supposed to go beyond mlandu. So we want to engage with the stakeholders as a way of educating these people. By doing so, we are going to decrease the rates of mental health. So in a way, we also want to create a safe space, more than to assuming they have engaged in those kind of mental health issues. Kulima healthy centers. We want to work with the healthy centers as well. So they should be finding those information in those kind of places and the relevant people because another factor as a contributor to the mental health is where we get the assistance. For instance, I'm in a relationship, we are having troubles. Where do I go to seek for guidance? You see, and ambiri, most especially my youth ngati fail, timapanga engage kapa social media. I'm going to go on TikTok, I'll see a motivational video. I want to implement it and see the results on that particular period, in a short period. Kandi bilakwazi zanga oti akangondi patsaso information yoti ya parallel. So we want to engage with different stakeholders. Kuti anthu akamakumana ndi this kind of issues, they are supposed to go to the right people, where they're going to be assisted accordingly.
Okay.
I feel like also we should allocate social workers, right? Because we also sometimes need someone to talk to that is not a friend or family member, because we're also afraid that we're going to be judged.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I feel like that's why social workers are there. So I feel like in communities, as communities, we should be able to allocate my social workers or us, the youth, we can go to and talk to them about our problems, and also train them on how to handle mental health problems. Because you can go to a social worker now and you're telling them that, oh, my partner did this, my partner did that, and they'll start questioning you, right? Instead of like comforting you or trying to give you proper advice. So the training also on the social workers, so that if anything, as the youth, we can also be able to go to them, not only just my organization, Kumano, talked to my social workers. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the same. Can you create healthy relationships? The law is one part that we should be also looking at to protect mainly minors. And I think I've been following several court rulings that have been happening. But I think if there's one of the most reported cases, I think in the previous months has also been different sentences that have been handed to different people for actually engaging in sexual activities with minors and all that. But one thing that I still have issues with, and I need expert input or enlightenment on how the law is applied, is one very critical issue of abortion. Yeah, because there are all these cases going on. Young people are being raped. This is not their choice. Or even if you're not a young person, if somebody is raped, they did not decide,
Yes, yeah.
they did not give consent, they did not plan for this thing. It happens. But the law currently does not allow them to go and seek for voluntary abortion, because they don't want this. Unless, I think, if there's a medical, I'm not too sure on this one, if there's a medical condition that endangers the life of the mother.
Yeah.
That's when they can actually seek. Do you, as defenders, think it's right for people to carry on with a pregnancy that they did not consent to?
No, it's not right, because when we look at CSE, we're talking about our bodies, like our rights. This is my body, this is my choice, right? But now it's like you're taking away my choice of not wanting to carry to terms to this child, especially if it's under the case of a minor has been raped or something like that, wadengamimba, and they're refusing them to abort. Zimabwelesa so trauma, yeah. Zimabwelesa so either the child ends up resenting mwanawe and they end up growing in an abusive manner. I didn't even want you to begin with, and stuff like that. So I'm not on stand on the whole not allowing to get abortion, because it's supposed to be my body and my choice. Yeah.
Well,
I just want to add on the law. So according to the constitution at the moment, every medical practitioner who assists a girl or a woman in carrying out the abortion without any proper valid reason, that person is supposed to be sentenced into 7 years imprisonment. Yeah. So at the moment in Malawi, abortion is illegal. Period.
It doesn't. Does it not matter the consequences or okay for you? Do you think it should be like that, or what better options could be there?
I think now it's an issue which has a lot of complexities around it, because we've talked about someone who has been raped, someone who did not give consent, someone who gave consent, but the intention was just to have fun. They were not intending on having a pregnancy or whatnot. So it has a lot of issues around it. But at the moment in Malawi, it's illegal. Yes.
What do you want to say as a sexuality or sexual rights? What's that abbreviation?
Comprehensive sexual.
No, I don't want this one. The one that has got rights.
Oh, sexual reproductive
and healthy rights.
Right.
Yeah, I want the one that has got rights.
SRHR.
Yes. As an activist in that space, what would you want done in that situation? Somebody has been raped, is a minor in the first place, or is not a minor but has been raped, but they're not ready for them to have a child. Would you want them to be assisted?
I think this is my opinion. I think there are supposed to be set some rules. For instance, a minor, as you have mentioned it, has been raped. There are supposed to be some parameters involved as well. Either you are going to go to the doctor, either you are going to get some sort of permission from more of the government or NGOs or whatnot. I know it's going to be a long process, but at the end of the day, we are looking out for the country in general and the healthy well-being of that person. Yeah.
I would want to have a different conversation just on this one. For now, I'll let it go. But when an opportunity comes, I hope I can bring in people that would want to speak to this issue, because I think there are a lot of issues that are actually happening, complications that are actually resulting from this, and we shouldn't just, I think, look at one side. So I would rather get lawmakers, get health practitioners to tell us what really happens behind there and how this thing should actually be handled. All right, great. We are about to be going into conclusions of this conversation, but I would want to hear from you now. When you look at all the issues to do with relationships, consent, and whatnot, what we're talking about, Ababa, the making sure that people own up to their actions, and as well as respect the actions of the other people that they are involved in intimate relationships with. Zinazi the ma consequences amene akumabwera china gender-based violence and all these things. Inuyo now, as my defenders, what's the call to action, let's say, for other young people, so that we are able to achieve healthy relationships? What could be that thing that you tell them? I think my relationship, I said that George. When you look at the things that you want to achieve as defenders?
It's very unfortunate. Komano, men also need help, right? I feel like it's not talked enough we just do it maybe in June for Men's Mental Health Month and whatnot, because men are also struggling mentally. And due to stuff like trauma and whatnot, they end up inflicting it on their partner, right?
Exactly.
So I feel like we should also talk about how men also need support from different organizations when it comes to mental health, because you start by fixing yourself before you go out to the world and fix others or try to love someone. You start to love yourself first. So for me, it's more of, let's push men to open up, to be able to speak about their traumas freely, because I've heard a phrase that says once you talk about it, you feel a burden being lifted,
Yeah.
because you don't keep it inside. So we first have to address the issue on men being helped also. Yeah. That way they're able to receive the right information and take it in, than just telling them stop abusing. But then now when they look at how they've grown up and they're facing a particular issue at the moment, that's the first thing that they think of, just, abuse.
Yeah. And backed by statistics, if we look at the numbers of people that have actually committed suicide, most of them are men.
Yeah.
And that tells us a big story that we are avoiding to talk about. And if you look at the abusers now, are the same men.
Now the same
So
men.
it's like,
Yeah. Let's
these
not
are,
just
you think if you abuse someone, you're strong,
No.
you are that, but
because you saw your father doing it.
you
or-
just feel like, no, I
Yeah.
think I can do the
yeah.
same.
So let's not do men this, men that. Let's focus on giving them the help that they also need.
Man, your call to action, what should we do to make sure that we create healthy relationships?
I think my call is going to the youth. When we are engaging in this relationship, we should have the end goal in mind. What are we trying to achieve by the end of this relationship? Jifa, by doing that, we are going to have some guidelines on which person you want to engage with. What are the qualities you are supposed to be interacting with? And by having that in mind, you have the qualities of the person you want. Chifano anthu ambiri mangolowa mu relationship moja, maybe based on attraction, personality and the like. Komano, let's set my standards by the end of this relationship, I want to be somewhere else. I want to be here. I want to achieve these kind of things. And that way, we are going to have healthy relationships. Judge Will and Georgie, for the boys. Pano bande magirls ndakulali. Mamona wa 16 years, 15 years, oti kandiwo kabo. Komano malamulo ndi malamulo. The laws cannot change because of what we're going through. The law is the law, period. No discussions attached to it. The legal age of getting married to a girl, it's 18 years. Lesser than that, ndimlandu. Sleeping with that particular person, you are going to jail, straightforward. Mabongo ende alimu, ambili mbili. So, tenti tsare malamulo. Let's respect our partners, both girls and boys. Yeah.
All right. No, thank you so much, lady and gentleman. Martin and Priska, for making time and opening up. I know this is one of the most difficult conversations to have, like I've said in our previous conversations. But I believe these are conversations that we must be having. It's okay to be on social media and throw all the jokes, the banter, be on WhatsApp and share the memes and have fun and whatnot. But the moment we bury these conversations, we're going to be paying for not being able to say or to speak about this. And this is the spirit that we host these conversations and we have this podcast so that we can actually have conversations that influence change, conversations that change a narrative somewhere. And it's always good to have brilliant young people like you come through and eloquently teach us about an area that you are so good at and you defend passionately. So, in the same vein of being passionate about what we do, we hope you also get passionate with this podcast. Subscribe, comment, give us your feedback on what you think has been said. If you have questions, put them forward. We should be able to invite them or their friends or whoever to give us more context to some of the things that we have started talking about. But they can also follow up makomenti anu ndi mayankho awo plus advice that maybe mutakukhala mukuyifuna. My name is Dennis Imaan, and it's been a pleasure to bring you the third episode of this special series of comprehensive sexuality education with the defenders. And until next time, whenever we come here to talk about something else, make sure you keep following us. For now, peace and out, stay safe, and stay knowledgeable about your sexual, reproductive, healthy rights. Adios. We're out.